Ladies and gentlemen, let's get one thing straight. Your attitude is either building your future or blocking it, period. People think that having a positive attitude means being fake, that it's about pretending everything's perfect. That's not positivity, that's denial. Real positivity is showing up even when life is hard. It's choosing to respond instead of react. It's about saying, this might suck, but I still get to choose how I deal with it. A positive attitude isn't some woo-woo mantra. It's a weapon, it's a mindset, it's the foundation of everything. When life hits you hard, and it will, a positive attitude doesn't stop the hit, but it does stop you from staying down. You don't wait for things to get better before you feel better. You feel better so that you can make things better. That's power, that's ownership, that's how change starts from the inside out. Let me ask you something. What's your default reaction when something doesn't go your way? Do you complain? Do you spiral? Or do you take a breath, stand up, and say, okay, now what? Because that one question, now what? That's a positive attitude. It's not toxic. It's not ignoring the hard stuff. It's saying, I'm still in control here. You're not pretending the struggle isn't real. You're reminding yourself so are you. Positive attitude is not passive. It's not about sitting back and trusting the universe while you do nothing. It's about getting your mind right so you can take better action. It's training your brain to look for opportunity instead of obstacles. It's being solution-minded when most people stay stuck in problems. And let me tell you, this matters in everything. Your work, your relationships, your goals, your confidence, it all shifts when you shift your attitude. Ever notice how some people just light up a room? How they walk in and the energy shifts? That's not magic, it's mindset. That's the result of someone who chooses every single day to bring the best version of themselves into the world even when they don't feel like it. So here's the deal. Your life will reflect the attitude you bring to it. You want more peace? Show up with peace. You want more joy? Start being joyful in the small moments. You want more opportunities? Show up like someone who's ready. Because attitude is energy, and energy attracts energy. You want to know what shocks people more than success? Grace, kindness, confidence, positivity even in chaos. You want to lead, be the calm in the storm. You want to stand out. Be the one who lifts others when everyone else is tearing them down. You know what takes real strength? Keeping your head high when things feel low. That's what makes people turn their heads and say, whoa, how are they doing that? It's your mindset, your focus, your attitude, the stuff that nobody can take from you unless you give it away. So if your life's a mess right now, if you're tired, if you feel stuck, start with one shift. Your attitude, start saying, I don't know how yet, but I will figure it out. Start believing that something amazing could happen today. Start expecting good things instead of dreading bad ones. And when those negative thoughts creep in, and they will talk back to them, be louder than your fear, louder than your doubt. Remind yourself who you are and what you're building. Because life isn't happening to you, it's happening through you. You are not your setbacks. You are your comebacks. You are not your struggles. You are your strength. You don't need the world to believe in you. You need you to believe in you. So today and every day after, choose the mindset that moves you forward. Protect your peace. Show up with energy. Speak life into your own vision. Because positivity isn't weakness, it's your superpower. You want to shock the world? Show them what unstoppable looks like when you lead with a positive heart and an unshakable mindset. Now get out there and let your attitude do the talking. Your mindset is the steering wheel of your life. It decides where you're headed, how you respond to the unexpected, and whether you thrive or just survive. The way you think determines the way you feel, and the way you feel directly shapes your behavior. If you're running on negativity, fear, or doubt, you're going to veer off course every single time. But if you start steering with intention, choosing thoughts that build you up instead of break you down, you'll start seeing opportunities where you used to see obstacles. Let's get this clear. Having a positive mindset doesn't mean you're in denial about what's wrong in your life. It means you're choosing not to give your power away to it. You can acknowledge pain, disappointment, and setbacks and still move forward with faith. That's not delusion. That's emotional strength. That's resilience. That's what mentally tough people do. They don't let negative circumstances dictate a negative identity. Negative thinking is like driving a car with a fogged up windshield. You're still moving, but you can't see where you're going, and sooner or later you crash into something. You miss the turn. You take the wrong exit. You panic and slam the brakes on your own momentum. But the second you wipe away that fog, when you start shifting your perspective and get clarity, it's game on. Suddenly, the road opens up. And the truth is, that fog, most of it is self-created. It's built from stories you've told yourself about what's not possible, about what's too late, about how you're not enough. And none of that is true unless you decide it is. Everything changes when you realize that positivity is a skill, not a personality trait, not some magical gift a few lucky people have. It's something you build, practice, and choose over and over again. Every time your brain wants to spiral into doubt or dread, you interrupt the pattern. You say, "Nope, I'm not going there today." You don't have to be fake or force a smile, but you do have to get intentional. You have to train yourself to focus on what you can do, what you do have, and where you can go from here. And it starts in the smallest moments. You wake up and the first thing your brain offers you is stress. You pause, you take a breath, you flip the script. I'm grateful I woke up. I've got a shot at today. Let's see what I can make happen. That shift, it takes less than 10 seconds, but it completely changes how you show up. Your mindset sets the tone before you even open your mouth. People feel it when you walk in a room. That energy, it's your attitude. And whether you realize it or not, you're influencing people every day with your vibe. Are you bringing light into the room or draining it? Are you encouraging solutions or feeding problems? Are you fueling progress or freezing in place? It's all attitude. And let's be honest, there are a lot of people walking around acting like life owes them something. Like the world is just supposed to line up and make their dreams come true. That kind of thinking, it's passive. It's powerless. A positive mindset doesn't wait for perfect conditions, creates them. It says, "I'll build the door if I don't see one." It says, "I'll figure it out even if I don't have the answers yet." That's the kind of energy that moves mountains. When you decide to steer your thoughts toward possibility instead of panic, you become unstoppable. Why? Because most people quit in their heads before they ever take a single step. They talk themselves out of trying. They sabotage their own potential because their mindset is stuck in neutral or worse, reverse. But when your mind is aligned with your goals, when you believe that good things are coming even in the middle of chaos, that's when real transformation begins. You stop playing the victim. You stop needing everything to be fair. You stop measuring your life by how others treat you, and you start measuring it by how you show up anyway. You build emotional muscle. You learn to bounce back faster. You start seeing that pain has a purpose and setbacks aren't signs to quit, they're signals to pivot. And here's the most powerful part. When you consistently show up with a positive attitude, even when things aren't perfect, people notice. They feel it. They're drawn to it. It inspires them. That kind of mindset is magnetic. It shocks people because they're so used to seeing others fall apart. When pressure hits but you stay centered, you stay focused, you stay kind, and that's rare. You won't always control what happens around you. Life is wild like that. But you can control what happens within you. That's the steering wheel. That's your power. And when you start leading with that kind of inner strength, when your attitude becomes your anchor, your fire, your force, you don't just change your path. You change your life. Positivity is not some innate trait you either have or you don't. It's not about being born a positive person. That's a myth. Positivity is a practice one you commit to every single day, especially on the days you don't feel like it. And let's be honest, those are the most important days to show up for it. Because that's when your old habits, your old doubts, your old excuses try to sneak back in and run the show. You don't just wake up one day and suddenly have a bulletproof mindset. You build I-tone decision, one perspective shift, one intentional action at a time. It's no different than brushing your teeth or hitting the gym. You don't do it once and expect to be set for life. You repeat it, you train it. You make it part of your routine until it becomes your new normal. It's easy to be positive when everything's going well, right? When the money's flowing, the relationships are thriving, the opportunities are lined up, it's effortless. But the real work, the real test of your mindset, it's when everything feels off, when plans fall apart, when people let you down, when the uncertainty hits hard and your back's against the wall. That's when the power of a practiced positive attitude kicks in. Not because you're ignoring the hard stuff, but because you've trained yourself to respond differently. People often wait for their circumstances to change so they can feel better, but that's backwards. The most powerful shift happens when you choose to feel better before anything changes. That's the turning point. That's when momentum builds. It's not fake optimism, it's mental resilience. It's saying, I don't have to have all the answers, but I believe I'm capable of figuring it out. You don't force yourself to be happy. You practice being present. You practice gratitude. You practice grace. You practice noticing the good even when the bad is loud. You practice catching those spiraling thoughts before they drag you down. And the more you do it, the better you get. You stop reacting on autopilot and start responding with intention. And let's get real, positivity doesn't mean you're always smiling. It doesn't mean you never feel tired or overwhelmed. It doesn't mean you bypass pain or pretend everything's fine when it's not. It means you show up despite those things. It means you give yourself the space to feel, but not the permission to quit. You learn how to hold both, the struggle and the strength, the chaos and the clarity, the mess and the momentum. Every single day, you get a choice: feed the fear or feed the focus. Which one wins? The one you train. If your mental habit is to worry, complain, or expect the worst, you're going to feel drained, stuck, and powerless. But if your mental habit is to look for what you can do, to search for what's working, to anchor in hope even when there's uncertainty, then your whole life shifts. And listen, nobody's perfect. You're going to have days where you slip, days where the negative thoughts win. That's part of the process. But the difference is you don't stay there. You catch it. You reroute. You remind yourself, I've done hard things before. I can do this too. And here's something most people don't realize. The way you speak to yourself matters more than anything anyone else says to you. Your inner dialogue is shaping your outer reality. So if you're constantly telling yourself, I can't do this, or nothing ever works out, or I'm not good enough, your brain will start looking for proof to confirm those beliefs. But if you flip that script even slightly, if you start telling yourself, I'm figuring it out, I'm learning, I'm growing, you activate a totally different part of your brain. A creative, resourceful, confident part of you that's built to rise. Positivity is a decision, not a mood.